Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm your boy Nick, aka Jimmy G Smile, aka Jimmy G the porn star, aka Trey Lance in a lap dance club, or playing in a monsoon. You name it, I'm it. How are we doing, everyone? Saturday afternoon here in the UK, Saturday morning in the US, early hours, obviously over there. Glad to have you back. We're going to chew up what went on last week. We're going to also talk Thursday night football, and we're also going to do our Lone Wolf Week 2 Pick'ems. Without further ado, I have some guests backstage. Let's bring in my co-host, Carl. Carl, how you doing? What's been going on? What have you been up to?
All good, mate. I've restructured my streaming services. So originally I was down in the corner of my living room doing this. It was quite tight. Now I actually have a spare room I can actually use. I've now moved it all up into my spare room, and it actually feels a lot more spacious than it did last time round. Even though my background is still looking the same, my room has changed. So there might be a slight little bit of echo in this stream from me. But apart from that, yeah, all good, excluding the fact that we lost to the Dolphins, which I did predict. Pretty much everyone on the panel predicted that. So, yeah, we got a lot of work to do against the Steelers this coming week. And as for the 49ers, well, we'll get into that as we get the panel on.
Yeah, can you please shut up? Thank you very much. Look, we don't swear on this channel. We can say fuck, shit, wanker, bollocks, everything else except the C word, and talk about Niners losses. We can't do that just yet. Yeah, it was a weird week. Some really good games, which we're obviously going to get into. Week 2's already obviously started with Chargers and Chiefs, and we've got someone, funnily enough, that wasn't there because he had to do an extra shift at McDonald's, and he couldn't actually make it to the game. There you go. So how was your shift at McDonald's, Scott? Obviously, I know you went and did an away day at the McDonald's just outside the University of Arizona Stadium. So firstly, how was that McDonald's? Was it good to work in? Were the people friendly? You know, how was it?
It was good. Fryer went down a couple of times, which created some delays, but no, it was good, man. It was good. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, all good, all good. Obviously, I saw the pictures you sent me, and yeah, Was there a fire alarm or a bomb scare or something that went off in the stadium that all the Arizona fans had to leave really early or something? Because that was weird.
It wasn't no bomb threat. It was Patrick Mahomes dropping bombs all over the Arizona Cardinals defense. I mean, there was a real bomb threat. I mean, it was. I kind of felt bad for the Arizona fans, honestly, because not only did they just get humiliated in that game. It was funny. I guess one of the Cardinals fans on the Cardinals Reddit subreddit page said, "This is like watching Alabama kick the shit out of one of those Division II FCS schools." I mean, that's what it looked like. I mean, they thumped them from start to finish. It was 37-7 at one point in the third quarter, and about half the stadium emptied out, and that was because half the stadium was about half the stadium, I'm guessing, approximating, was Chiefs fans. Chiefs Kingdom showed up in force in Arizona. It was pretty incredible just how many KC fans were in there. It was loud. It was loud on the Cardinals when they were playing defense. When the Chiefs scored, which was often, you could hear the chop, the war chant on the TV. People were sending me text messages like, "Dude, this is unreal. This is like a home game." So. And then so not only did they get waxed in their stadium, but they had to sit there and listen to 50% of the crowd cheer against them when they were losing. But it was fun. It was a good time.
Do you know what really was amusing? The fact that after seeing, and we'll get into the Niners shortly, after seeing Thursday Night Football and seeing or the opening kickoff, whatever you want to call it, seeing the Rams get waxed. And I thought, well, there's no way Arizona are going to beat KC. We're going to piss all over the Bears. Don't even start with that. And I thought, the Sea Chickens will lose. I thought, this is it. And of course, we are going to get into it, and it all went fucking haywire. But glad you had a great time. Obviously, I know you weren't there because you sold your tickets. But again, we're going to get into Thursday Night Football shortly. Good to have you along as usual, Mr. Smug. We always value your opinions for about 30 seconds, and then we just take the piss. But anyway, talking of taking the piss, long time, and it's been a long time for this guy. These next two haven't been on for ages, and whenever I've spoken to him and seen pictures that he puts out when he's on holiday or whatever, I've always said he's punching above his weight or punching above his pay grade for you American followers, people that are listening. He's looking a bit mischievous backstage, so let's just bring him on.
You're right, thanks.
Ivan!
How you doing?
How are you?
I'm good. It's good to be back. Right, Scott? Right, Carl?
Ivan?
Long time no see, buddy. Long time no see.
Let's go Browns.
And how is that wonderful wife and family of yours? Because obviously I know she puts up with a lot being with you, obviously.
Yeah. No, she's good. She's a Packers fan.
Oh, well,
So,
we all have our cross to bear. Can I just, has anybody seen, while we're on, very quickly, Full Metal Jacket?
Yeah.
The film?
Yeah.
Tell me that Ivan doesn't look like, and I can't remember his name, one of the actors in Full Metal Jacket. I'm gonna have to Google it. Doesn't he look, with those glasses on, look like? Come on, Carl. I can see you're Googling.
On the case. I'm on the case of it. Give me a second.
I know you've only bit up.
People
you know I love you, Ivan, but seriously, I looked at you and I'm thinking, shit, it's that geezer from Full Metal Jacket, and I can't remember what is.
Not Arliss Howard, is it?
I don't know, but honestly, if you put a GI's helmet now on Ivan, he would be the spitting image of the bloke.
I know the one you mean.
You know the one I mean?
The private cow. Is it Private Cowboy?
He survives right to the end, doesn't he? And then gets blown up or something in the.
Well, I think most of them get blown up, don't they? At the end,
don't they?
Ambush or the snipers. Yeah. But yeah, it's great to have you along, Ivan. Obviously, we get your thoughts on week one. I also, but before we move on, obviously, Baker Mayfield was shipped out and you got in Deshaun Watson, and we hadn't spoke about that. I wanted to speak about that before, obviously, because we didn't do shows and I wasn't available, whatever. Obviously, now, knowing what you know now, would you still have gambled on Deshaun Watson being the QB from week 1 this season, or do you think it was a bad move? How do you feel about all that, considering it's a ridiculous contract?
Well, I mean, I'm one of the Browns fans who was happy with Baker. I mean, I understand that how people can criticise him, and you know, the Carolina Panthers game was a classic. Baker Mayfield potentially, but you know, Watson is a big gamble, and he hasn't played in a long while. It's a huge amount of money. Clearly, he was a very good when he's playing very well. He's a very good quarterback, and the front office of the Browns know a heck of a lot more football than I do. So they obviously think that, you know, he's worth the gamble. You know, the season is pretty much written off with Brissett playing the first 11 games. So, you know, they're really talking about prep for next season. So they obviously think he's the right man for the job. I wouldn't want Watson as the front of the Cleveland Browns, you know, the quarterback. I don't think anyone who's potentially committed that amount of offences should be in the game. And that was always my take on Ben Roethlisberger and anyone else on that. That was one of my big criticisms of the Steelers. And it remains a big criticism for me of any franchise who put someone like that as the front man of the.
To be fair, and you know, I've always called him Ben Roethlisberger, like a lot, and I've got no allegiance to either of those teams, and it's always been. And again, we've discussed this. If that was an offensive lineman, he would have been banned completely.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have even looked at the field, right? And unfortunately, because he's a star and they've paid him a fucking fortune, 11 games, all's forgiven. You know, Ray Rice did unspeakable things and he was bombed out the league. And just goes to show that running back isn't as important as the QB in the NFL. And quite frankly, I think it fucking stinks. But it is what it is.
The NFL setting them up for themselves, really, haven't they? Because they've done nothing about these sorts of offences for decades, and so, you know, Watson will always likely to come back in, as you say, especially since he's such a well-known face and potentially one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL. But if they're going to be serious about stopping offences against women and any of these really serious offences, then they really need to do something about it. They didn't, and they continue to do nothing about it. And that's one of the big criticisms anyone can make about the NFL. It's never going to stop me supporting the Browns, because I'm not going to stop supporting the team I've been supporting since 1999 because of one player, and he'll be gone in 4 or 5 years anyway.
And and earning a pretty wage as well. And if they cut him, they owe him all the money, which is really bizarre. But yeah, we'll come back to you shortly, Ivan. Again, great to see you again, my friend. It's good
to be back. Thank you.
Possibly, I don't know. Long time. Talking of bad pennies, look who else has appeared. Nick.
He's out of the kitchen.
I am. I've moved home. I've got my own office, much like Carl. So it's been a case of trying to get everything all sorted in the new spot. The flag football season has ended here in the UK, so I now finally have time to concentrate on other things.
Actually, I was going to say, I've only just noticed you are in new surroundings because you don't have your kitchen behind you.
Yeah, none of that anymore. It's all gone.
So are you further out of town or just...
No, just on the outskirts. I'm just overlooking the marina these days, which is quite nice.
You posh.
Just
fuck.
a marina. It's only a marina. It's not like you live in fucking Wales. Well, it's the most prettiest part of
a marina to most people is probably like a fucking great big place with like huge yachts and like Abramovich's fucking motor cruiser. There,
you're thinking Monte Carlo.
It's like Boston Common Pond. It's probably a couple of little fucking rowboats or something.
Yeah. We're under the
missing
impression we're under the impression that he's living in Monte Carlo. That's not the case here.
No.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's just going to go down to Casino Royale like after the show just to throw, place.
Well, we've got a Starbucks just around the corner. What more do you want?
Fucking hell. That's like royalty. Have you got a McDonald's as well there or Five?
There is. It's a drive-through one as well, and they're building a drive-through Greg's.
Right. I'm moving to Wales. Drive-through Greg's. That's next level.
Yeah.
Scott's going, good. The fuck is Greg's? What are they talking about? Are they talking shit? Talking of talking shit, and we have gone on long enough talking shit. I'm really glad to have everyone back. It's good to see you all again. Obviously, in the UK, it's been a very strange time with the passing of Queen Elizabeth II. Whether you're a royalist or not, I happen to be, and I'm very proud of my Queen. I will obviously then pledge allegiance to the King because I am ex-military and she was the boss. Unfortunately, I went up early last week and I placed some flowers outside Buckingham Palace, shared a moment, etc. But Monday in the UK is going to be a very strange day. My company have had to close because most of our customers have closed, and as a mark of respect, we've had to, whether people agree with it or not. I asked for holiday because I wanted to watch what was going on, and basically they agreed under pressure to do that. But yeah, I just wanted to, obviously we should have said something last week and didn't. So I just wanted to say this week, before we move on, God save the Queen, long live the King. And now let's get in to some football. If it is your first time here, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. We do appreciate it. If you don't want to, that's fine. I don't care. If you do, brilliant. We'll still be here talking shit whether you subscribe or not. So just remember that. If you do subscribe, you then have to put up with our weekly rants, raves, hero worship. Oh my God, Trey Lance, what the hell is Shanahan doing? My God, I can't believe Mahomes has done this. Factory of sadness, etc., etc. So yeah, we got everything. So right, let's get into it. Without further ado, Carl, where do you want to start? Do you want to start Thursday night football? Do you want to touch on our teams in week one and then move to Thursday? How do you want to do it?
Let's touch on Thursday night football first. Chiefs 27, Chargers 24. Really good game to watch. I was having trouble sleeping, so I ended up watching the second quarter onwards. Really, really good game. Asante Samuel Jr. is basically the reincarnation of his father, i.e. can't make an interception save his fucking life. Chiefs come away with a win, which, let's just say, had some rather awkward decisions made by the officiating. Everyone is still getting pissy about the interception that wasn't an interception. Some people said it was, some people said it isn't. It was very touch and go. Justin Herbert, I for the love of me cannot understand. I watched that play when it was a first and goal, second and goal. Gerald Everett, people said that was Gerald Everett's fault. If you actually watch that play very, very closely, Gerald Everett was absolutely gassed. He was fucked. He needed to come off the field for someone to get a replacement, but they couldn't get the substitute in time. So he had to line up one-on-one, and it ended up being not just an interception, it ended up pick six, a 99-yard pick six going the other way. And that pretty much was game over. But Justin Herbert, he stuck around right at the end. He got hit 3 times really, really badly. The guy was playing like the fucking Dark Knight in the Monty Python sketch. You know, he was just still continuously fighting on. But yeah, I mean, a good win for the Chiefs. Some questionable calls to say the least. But the Chargers and the Chiefs, they're going to be the 2 teams that are going to be fighting it for the AFC West. Forget Denver after their shit show last week. And the Raiders, they're still with growing pains with Josh McDaniels. It's the Chiefs or the Chargers that are taking this division. And right now, the Chiefs have the upper hand.
The thing that with that interception that I think didn't make it an interception is, and I've only obviously seen it thingy, and I don't know did they review it? Was that what happened? Did they review it?
They reviewed it and they reversed it. Originally, it was an interception, and then they went for the decision, and then they reversed it.
See, now, to me, that was inconclusive. On the views that I've seen, to me, that was inconclusive. So, technically, yes, it should have been overturned because you can't get an angle that you can actually prove that it was, or so you can't. Back in the day, that would have been an interception, right, yeah. Scott? Back in the day, before instant review and all that other stuff that goes on now, that would have been an INT, right? And that would have changed the game.
Well, they called it an interception. Yeah, so before review, obviously, they wouldn't have changed it. It was clear as day that the guy trapped the ball between his chest and the ground. I don't understand why people are even arguing it. The only people arguing it are Chargers fans. Everybody else I've seen online that aren't Chiefs fans or Chargers fans that are chiming in on it. I mean, there's a still shot where the guy's arms are like this, and the entire side of the ball is on the ground. In order for them to
I don't think they go with stills per se, do they? They play it, and they don't free. And that's the thing that I think it had to be overturned purely based on the fact that there was more to say it wasn't than it was. But 10 years ago or before instant replay, that would have been an interception and it would have changed, changed the whole game. My takeaways were, if any team from the NFC goes into a shootout, any team, don't give a shit whether you're Aaron Rodgers, Trey Lance, whoever, Kirk Cousins, whatever. You have to get into a shootout with either of those 2 quarterbacks. Forget it. Sorry, forget it. And that's worrying from a fan of an NFC team because we all know Mahomes is Mahomes. And if he can stay legit, not injured and without, I don't know, a sprained wrist or an ankle or whatever, I honestly think he's still the best QB in the NFL. Josh Allen's getting up there. Herbert is definitely getting up there. I mean, the balls that kid showed when he was getting smacked. And when he could have run for that. Sorry?
So the AFC is loaded, isn't it? You've got Burrow in Cincinnati as well. It's absolutely loaded.
Burrow wasn't Burrow-esque really last week, which really
but then
but there is I've got an extremely very good reason why that was the case, but we'll move into
they don't play in free.
Yeah, I mean that game, I was off ill for a couple of days, Thursday and Friday, and I basically slept all day Thursday and woke up and thought, shit, it's Thursday night football, still feeling really ill. So I went and threw up and had the shakes and Christ knows what. And I watched that game and I was like, now this is football. This is what football should be. You got 2 teams going at it, giving everything. And as I said, that play that was 3rd and 1, whatever it was, and Justin Herbert, he just couldn't. He had to throw it away because he just couldn't do it. And I'm like, when you look at it and you think, shit, what's he doing? He can easily run. But you imagine he slides, gets whacked, or doesn't slide, or gets chipped, or whatever. That's it. Game over. Doesn't matter after what happens then, because if you start, your star player goes out, you're fucked. So I kind of get what he did, but yeah, he was. But apart from the interception, he was ballsy, and I do those sorts of QBs, and everyone is building up a certain player of a certain team to be a Josh Allen, a Patrick Mahomes Part 2. Look at Nick. Look, he's going, I wonder who that might be. Yeah, man, what a great game. Ivan, did you watch it? Did you watch the highlights?
I've seen them all. I mean, I would have stayed up to watch it live, but I had to be in work early. So, but I've seen it on Game Pass, and it was an absolute classic. I mean, it was a great derby game. That's one of the best divisions in the NFL. That one, in any case, when you got two great teams just slugging it out like that, you think the Chargers are, go ahead, doing what they did last season, taking early leads and looking really dominant. But of course, with Mahomes and the Chiefs, you can never rule them out, even when they're behind, so they come up with all sorts of magic. And, if the O-line of the Chargers had stayed whole, would they have won the game? That's an interesting question to me, because you can never quite tell, therefore, whether the Chargers are the real thing or not. If their O-line had stayed together, possibly, and as you say, that 3rd and 1, if they'd got a touchdown then instead of a 99-6, there was so much in that game that was just great to watch. I agree, it was definitely not an interception. The ball, he didn't have his arms underneath the ball, so the ball's clearly hits the ground. Even if it looked like he was in sort of control, they're never going to give that. So there should be no complaints over that one. It was just a fantastic game between two great teams. They're likely to go far postseason, you would hope to see. Chiefs have
it kind of reminded me of a heavyweight boxing match where they're both throwing haymakers, and that's what I mean. Like with a shooter, you throw a haymaker and you're like, and then Mahomes does that little underarm thing to what's his face.
There's so much to Mahomes' game. You can never rule out anything he could do. You can throw the long passes, do those double passes. They're both great quarterbacks as well.
Yeah, I mean, both QBs were throwing dimes, and it was incredible. Yeah. And that guy, is it Mitchell? The LA Chargers, the one that was it Williams?
Mike Williams.
Mike Williams.
He is a stud, man. He is a fucking stud.
And they didn't have Keenan Allen, and then he's dropping them, and he's and that one-handed catch he had in the end zone for a touchdown. Holy shit!
I mean, it's just a superb
it was a classic game. And I think in the end, I think that the Chiefs did deserve to just edge it. But yeah, it was, look, his hands are down below the screen. We can see his burner account is backing. Mahomie the GOAT, welcome along. Good morning. Thanks for joining as ever. Nick, did you see the game? What did you think?
I literally haven't been able to see a single moment because Game Pass are taking my money without letting me actually view any of the games, which is annoying.
Oh, now there's a shock.
I've been restricted to clips on Twitter, sadly. But I did see that big catch from Mike Williams was something else, man. Fair play.
I've been a subscriber to Game Pass for, I want to say 10 years, maybe a bit longer, I'm not sure. And not 1 year have I had a flawless season. And you're paying 170 quid now? So
I think it's
200
170. It's around about 150, 155, something along those lines.
I'm rich.
And I
so
had no it.
I don't give
I
a
had no
fuck.
issues. I had no
You
issues.
know.
I just renewed mine, and yeah, it was
I
fine.
always,
It
I
worked
always
perfect.
renew it, but you can guarantee that the stream is late, the audio's out, the they don't do any after stream thing. You just get a couple of handshakes and that's it, and that really annoys me. But yeah, Game Pass.
Yeah, but that's because of the broadcasting though, and yeah, we are a little bit behind because it's not because it's not.
Are you employed by the NFL Game Pass?
No, but hear me out, okay? No, fuck you. Hear me out.
It's shocking. I'm going to mute you in a minute. Shut up. Right. Enough. Time out on Game Pass. It's shit. And it always has been. And you know what? I watch it on my Android tablet and my Fire Stick, and that app has not changed, even though they tell you to update it, etc., etc. Has not changed in 8 years, and it's
mine still shows OBJ in a Giants jersey.
Yeah, it's shocking. So, Carl, unless you work for the NFL, there you go. Right, let's talk very quickly about week one. We've obviously done the Chargers because obviously Scott was working in KFC in Arizona and went to the game, so that's cool. I'm going to go last. Nick, 49ers, week one. Going to piss it. I said it. We're going to kill the Bears. They're cannon fodder. They're a fucking waste of time. I have never seen an NFL game use, I don't know what the fuck that was at the end when the rain was coming down, like fucking blueprint shit or whatever it was, so you could see the field and what the fuck. It was like X-ray vision.
Oh, it was insane.
I want to know your grade for the defense. I want to know your grade for Trey Lance, and what did you think overall? And I'm not going to say a word because I'm going last.
I'm not going to give him grades. I think it's a little unfair given that actually at the time I was on a train
Do
between
you work,
Leeds and
do
Manchester.
you work for the San Francisco 49ers?
No.
Come on, man.
The fact is, we bottled it. No, the team bottled it. The team bottled it. And I really don't like the whole thing about people blaming the weather because both teams had to play in the same weather. So that's a crap excuse right out the window. Get rid of that. They weren't good enough. They bottled it. They were cruising. They were getting into the right positions. They weren't converting. They allowed the Bears to stay in the game. And eventually the Bears made us pay. The fact is we have to get better. The overall performance was poor.
So did you see the whole game?
No, I was actually playing in the flag football UK finals literally at the same time.
Humble.
So our game finished at just past half time, and I was on a train to Leeds for the 49ers official watch party for the second half, and that's when I discovered my Game Pass wasn't working.
You weren't on the train, or when you said, "Oh, I've got Game Pass, it's fine, we can stream it from there," and then you turn up like last year when they did a watch party and the dickhead couldn't even get the game. Is that weren't that scenario?
Along those lines, I was a little bit happier this time considering we just come runners up. So, but yeah, it was a shite show. To be honest, the Niners were horrific. They didn't deserve to win the game. You know, there's people going on and on. Oh, you need to drop Trey Lance. It's one game in. How moronic do you have to be to drop the guy after week one?
It's stupid. It's absolutely stupid.
It'll be a lot different after tomorrow, but I will speak about that very shortly.
No.
Carl, Matt Jones, the Patriot. Now, I've only seen very brief highlights, so what I will say is that Matt Jones still the one? I'm not saying because of your backups or anything. Are the New England sports public still behind him, because I think, and again, you watched the whole game, I didn't. I think a few of his flaws were kind of pulled to the front. Still a good QB, don't get me wrong, but were his limitations kind of shown up during that game, and people will then think, well, if we do this, we know how to get to him. But what was your overall opinion of the game, the team, him? Any grades you want to give, etc., etc.?
All right, okay. Let's start with where are we? Yeah, that'll do. Right, basically start with Mac Jones. Okay, yeah, he didn't have a good game, not at all. 21 of 30, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. And even though he does have his flaws, i.e., not being able to push the ball down the field, he was the only quarterback in the NFL last week who, on 3% of all of his dropbacks, had 3 or more seconds in the pocket to get the ball out. All the rest of the time, he was under duress every single time. That's partly because the Dolphins front 7 gave our offensive line nightmares, and our offensive line was absolutely shit last week. They were terrible. Trent Brown, what was probably the worst performance I've ever seen him play in a Patriots uniform. I don't know if he'd done that for the 49ers back in his previous years a few times. There you go. But that was just terrible. It was an awful place. I can partly blame Mac Jones for the interception, because it was a ball he threw up there for Devontae Parker to get. Parker should have been a bit more aggressive, but it wasn't. It ended up going in for a field goal in the end, and then the strip sack fumble that was on Trent Brown. David Andrews had his man. Left guard James Ferentz, he had his man. Trent Brown ended up going for James Ferentz's man, which left the linebacker to come off the edge and blitz Mac Jones, knock the ball out, and skull in for the touchdown. That was on Trent Brown, not on Mac Jones. The offense in its own was poor. Kendrick Bourne had 2 snaps in the entire fucking game. He's our most explosive receiver. And when he did play, all were 35 and 41 chunk yards. Please explain to me how that even makes sense at all. We were playing a 12-man personnel. So we're playing John O. Smith and Hunter Henry with the 12-man personnel. And the receivers we were putting out there was Jacoby Myers and Devontae Parker. Well, if you need to get the ball down the field, at some point you're going to need to go to a 3-4 wide receiver set and actually stretch the field. Because there was no way, we just kept on playing one-dimensional football. And the Dolphins knew what we were doing. So the offense had a shit game. Matt Patricia's play calling was okay, but he didn't adjust in the second half. That's his blight on him, as he did in Detroit. The defense on the other side, though, defense was excellent. If you can hold a Miami Dolphins very talented offense to 10 points throughout that entire game, you'd bite your hand off for it. So I'm happy with the defense. Judon got a sack, hence the fact why I'm wearing his jersey today. But no, it weren't a good game. Weren't a good game from us. Dolphins deserved to win that. Our offensive line was absolutely shambolic. Mac was just under all sorts of pressure. Yeah, so we got the Steelers this tomorrow. Lovely. As if this offensive line doesn't need any more hammering.
Yeah, well, you're lucky because obviously TJ Watt's out. So
yeah, TJ's out. Yeah, but that doesn't make a difference. They've still got Cam Hayward. They've still got Devin Bush. They've still got dogs out there. That's going to hurt us.
Sam Highsmith's boy.
Sam Highsmith. Alex is going to be the main component of that front 7.
Well, he has to be now with TJ out. Yeah, I saw one part. I didn't watch the whole game. I watched the 60 thing, and Kendrick Bourne made a good cat. He threw a couple of good passes. He did when
he had time. When the offensive line was doing their job and he had time, he actually threw some lovely spirals. In the words of John Vernos, 3rd and 12. Yeah, 3rd and 12 to Kendrick Bourne on a 42-yarder shot, and then a think it's a 24-yarder to Jacoby Myers on 2nd and 8, where he tiptoed out of the sideline. That was a nice throw.
Myers throw was a good throw.
That was nice.
Where he could only get it, and I enjoyed that.
But no, it was. Yeah,
I mean,
it was.
Do again. If you're gonna put up, and I know what the answer is going to be from everyone, but I'm going to ask it anyway. If you put up that Miami team in a shootout with Kansas or with the Chargers in a straight shootout, Miami ain't getting anywhere close, are they?
No.
Let's be honest. They're not.
They're not.
No.
Defensively, they're not good enough. Offensively, if there's broken coverages and, and everyone, that happens to everyone, right? I mean, it happened in the Niners game where Dante Pettis, who couldn't catch a fucking cold in San Francisco, scored that fucking long throw.
Yeah.
Everyone's got going back to a boxing analogy, everyone's got a puncher's chance, and we get that. But yeah, there is no way that
that was
Scott's burner account is and I've said this all the time. I've seen Tua, but honestly, when you watch other lefty, I mean, even Tim Tebow had a bit of mechanics about him, but Tua just looks really awkward. His footwork he just doesn't look right. I know I can hold it up. Steve Young was probably the best left-handed quarterback. Well, certainly from when I started watching. But yeah, there's no way Tua is beating Mahomes, beating Josh Allen, beating whoever.
There's a video out. I'll see if I can find it, and I'll tweet out a link to it. It's like they called it highlights of that game, but it should have been called lowlights. That was one of the ugliest football games ever played. It was terrible. I mean, they were just terrible throws. There was a couple plays where Tua threw the ball, and he missed the receiver by like 10 yards. That's how far off, which is so bizarre because he was Mr. Accuracy at Alabama. So, yeah, that game was awful. That game was terrible. I don't know, but
I know why Tyreek Hill.
Bill Belichick, with that loss, is now under 500 in New England without Tom Brady as the quarterback. That's very interesting.
That's what is starting to develop as well in the fan base as well. A lot of people are saying that Belichick still needs time to get this team sorted, that and the other. And the other side of it is saying that Belichick is now, he's ridden on the coattails of Tom Brady for so long. Now, all of a sudden, he's now getting, in the words of Skip Bayless, exposed. They have a point. They do have a point. Here's the thing. You want an OC. If I was my personal picks, I would have bought in Bill back. I would have built in Bill O'Brien. But he said he wanted to be a head coach. I goes, I don't care. I'll pay you head coach money to be our offensive coordinator. I would do that in an instant.
Right? They would have done that.
They would have done that. So the fact we've gone to Matt Patricia, who is a de facto defensive coordinator. Yes, he coached for the Detroit Lions, but that was a shambolic effort in itself. And then you brought in Joe Judge, who is a special teams coach, who is now a quarterbacks coach who has never coached quarterbacks in his life. This is just putting this is just putting square pegs into round holes.
Do you know what? The thing that amazes me when you look at some of these coaches that have become head coaches, and you look at what positions they had before they become head coaches, and you're like, well, hang on a minute. You were head water boy coach. Then you were product development coach, and then you were concessions coach. Then you were a receiver coach, even though you were never a receiver. Then you were a this and that, and it just sometimes it really. And I'm not, and we've discussed this before, but soccer coaches, managers is the prime example. You can be the best soccer player in the world, but it'd be an absolute train wreck as a coach. absolute
Oh, yeah.
train.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
most of the great coaches aren't players, and through the history of the league, if you look
They're
at it,
students of the game, and
or they weren't star players. If they were a player, they were just
no,
a guy
exactly.
that was on the roster for a few seasons and didn't really pan out, didn't have a long career. I mean, there's not very many players that go on to be all-time great or upper echelon coaches in the NFL. There's just
no,
not.
it's really, really strange. Ivan, Tua versus the 3 QBs I mentioned. No contest. Forget about it.
He's nowhere near as good, is he, as the top quarterbacks in the AFC. I mean, the Dolphins have got quite a nice team, but they're not going to challenge, the Bills, the Chiefs, who I think are the best 2 teams in the AFC. So, it's not a comparison, really.
Carl, can I just say
it's Carl.
It's just,
Sorry.
right.
Thanos has got hold of him now, is he?
Bro,
No,
like,
no, the sun's coming through the window and it's completely fucking up the green screen, so I've just switched it off. So
I thought you were going full Dalek mode then. It's like Doctor Who.
Carl looks like Carl looks like the Predator.
But without the hair.
Without the hair.
20 years ago, he might have had the hair, but fuck that, not now.
He does. I'm expecting Arnold to bust through the door and fucking take him out any second.
Nick, Tua versus the rest of the AFC. You taking the rest of the AFC, I presume?
I've taken most of the rest of the league over Tua. To be honest, I've always thought Tua was a bit of a bust. This is his make or break.
Right? Yeah, he makes throws. We get that. All QBs can do that. But he's just clunky. It annoys me when I watch him because I say to myself, look at I'm a QB guru, obviously, because that's what I am.
Really?
But you just look at him and it's like, that is a shit motion.
Yeah.
It's awful.
It's not for me. I see. This is his make or break season. If he can't do anything this season, I think he's going to end up being one of those career bridge quarterbacks, career backups, and that'll be it.
The way Miami are kind of going with their recruitment, especially this year, I don't know what their draft picks are like. But if he fails,
well, it's not too difficult. I mean, they have got your 2 first-round picks after all.
They've still got all of those other picks that they got from
they're
from the Texans because they constantly recycled them into more and more.
They are, I would say, a QB away from if they could get a Mahomes or an Allen or a Herbert, they would be serious contenders.
I think they'd be a better team with Brock Purdy under center.
Nothing wrong with the Brock. Nothing wrong with Mr. Irrelevant. Don't you slander that man's name.
Oh, I'm not.
Did you saw Tyreek Hill in the offseason was talking about how Tua is more accurate than Mahomes and all that nonsense he was saying on his podcast and all this shit. Did you see his tweet during the Chiefs-Chargers Thursday night game after that little flick of the wrist?
I saw it.
Touchdown?
I saw
he was
it.
Like, Tyreek tweeted out, he goes, nice pass, 15, with the little, like, welling up eyes.
Yeah.
And when I saw that, I was almost like, I felt bad for Tyreek somehow, man. I was like, bro, why did you, man, you should be here, man. Like, what are you doing?
That's the same. That is the same. That is the same sort of tweet. And that tweet is basically the same way that you're in a new relationship, but you're still texting your ex. That's basically what it is.
Or your OBJ or AB wishing they were somewhere where they weren't.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
man, you got
everyone talks up where they've gone, right? They leave, they never disrespect per se the team they've left. They always big up where they've gone. And Tyreek Hill was a prime example. Wow, Tua's he's dog shit. But he's not going to go in there and go, oh man, I've made a real mistake here. I wish I was still getting passes from Mahomes, or I was still doing this, or blah blah. You know,
I mean, they won. They
it's
won,
like
but Tyreek had to have been sitting
Baker
there in
Mayfield
prime
isn't
time.
going to make a progressive advert and go, oh man, you know, if he loses a few games, they're not going to all of a sudden put an ad together where he's sat outside Cleveland Stadium going,
No, Bob. I wish they'd done one with him moving out or something. No, that would have been good. that would have been
you know
fun.
what? He probably would have done that, but they wouldn't let him. But anyway, before we get to the picks, I'm now going to have my little say on the 49ers because I've been waiting for this. Now, for anyone who isn't familiar, and you're probably not, I know Nick will be, Grant Cohn, who is a complete arsehat beat writer for the 49ers. Got the job because of his old man who used to be on the San Francisco Chronicle. Agreed, Nick?
Yeah. He's trading on his father's name.
He has been on Jimmy G's case since the off season, end of last season, whatever. He's shit. He should be this. He should be that. Blah blah blah. Trey Lance is the future. Trey. Everything, right? But now Trey Lance loses a game, and he's citing all these other people that had a bad first season. So he's already bracing himself. Rumors are out that Trey has already got the backup of certain people in the locker room who want Jimmy back, right? So I'm not saying anything on that. I'm not even going to say anything on that. But he is just, and he's, so far today, I've seen tweets about Peyton Manning's first season with the Colts. When they got rid of whoever before Peyton Manning was, they were 13-3, and Peyton Manning came in and they were 6-10. But nobody flamed Peyton Manning, blah, blah, blah. Right, so this is the latest one. The Packers went 13-3 with Brett Favre in 2007, then got rid of him and went 6-10 with Aaron Rodgers in 2008. The best decision the franchise ever made. Now, for the life of me, cannot understand why. Well, I can, because he's a fucking clickbait artist. But you're comparing Hall of Fame QBs with Trey Lance in their first season. And the pressure on Trey Lance is already unbearable. And I'm a Jimmy fan. Everyone knows I'm a Jimmy fan. I'm still a Jimmy fan. I'm so glad they kept him. We talked about it last week. Do I want Jimmy in there? No. I'm going to give it halfway through the season. This is a Super Bowl team, caliber team now, right? It is now. If we have a losing record by halfway through, but I'm talking we've won one game and lost the rest, switch it out. Switch it. I don't care. Because a lot of people's jobs are on the line this season with the 49ers, whether it's the defensive coordinator, whether it's Carl. I don't think Carl's is. I think John Lynch's is. And we are win now. We are in win now. And I after last week, I put on Twitter, I gave Trey a C-. I don't think that's unfair. I don't think, Justin Fields was still throwing the football. They were still running it. Yes, we made some ridiculous penalties on defense. And I'm not saying it was all on Trey. It wasn't. It was a team loss. We lost our number one running back. The defense that was supposed to be top three was nowhere. And Trey has to take some of the blame. Not all of it. Not even half of it. Probably, I don't know, a quarter of it. But I can't believe, and Nick, you know what it's like. You build up first game of the season. Fuck it. Pre-season means nothing. Doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean fuck all because it's vanilla. But everyone was making the same mistakes in pre-season with penalties, and yeah, I'm worried. I am worried. Sorry, I am. I'm really worried.
Nick, for every Peyton Manning or Aaron Rodgers that had a rough first year and then turned it around to be really good, there's 50 guys that had a bad first year and then flamed out and turned out to be nobody. So trying to do that that's people trying to make themselves feel better is what that is. I mean, if he played bad, and he admitted he played bad after the game, that's all the 49ers.
But he went out to a strip
making
club.
excuses for him and defending him and blaming him, saying it was the weather or it was this or it was that. He didn't have George Kittle. All these, he came out and said it himself. I missed this throw. I missed this throw. I had this bad read. I took this sack when I shouldn't have, and I did this. I mean, he rattled off about 6 or 7 plays that he completely, blew it. And it's not to say he can't get better, but he was not very good. And if you're banking on, well, even if he struggles all year, there's this guy or this guy that had a bad year that turned out to be really good. That's the exception to the rule. That's the outlier.
The thing is, okay, and they're making, again, people are saying it was a bad decision keeping Jimmy G on the roster.
It was.
There's got to be a reason for it. And we can't have him go to a rival. I'm sorry. I don't buy that for a minute. I do not buy that.
Who wanted Jimmy G from the?
Hang on. We don't know offers that were made for him. I'm not saying there were, but nobody knows. And yeah, he was probably worth a bag of peanuts and a bag of chips. I'm not disputing that, but there was a reason why and everyone was like, in the off season, right, Nick? Jimmy G's gone. He's traded. We got people doing fucking artwork of Jimmy G being traded on 49ers Twitter. And he's gone. He's a bum. He's this, he's that, he's the other. But, he hasn't got a playbook. He hasn't got an iPad. He knows nothing. He's definitely gone. He's this, that, the other. And I said, wouldn't surprise me if he stayed around. Would not surprise me in the slightest. And no, he's still going. He's this, he's that, he's a bum. He can't take us any further. If they got offered 2/5 and a 4th, or a 4th and a 7th, they would, at that point, when they decided to move on, and he isn't by de facto, he's not the starter, but if someone would have given them a little bit of value, and apparently teams did call, but they didn't like what they offered, he would have been gone, and he was definitely out of the picture. Now, I haven't got a tinfoil hat, but if I did have one, I'd put it on, and I would say, I think they need him as insurance all the way through, because they're not sold on him. Not 100% until Trey comes out, and it may be this Sunday, but apparently it's raining again, so fucking hell, look out.
70% chance.
I wonder if we'll need the X-ray vision shit.
As you can see here, the rain is coming down from the north as we come on.
Rain and snow. I've seen Patrick Mahomes go out in fucking snowstorms and throwing 40-yard bombs, lasers down the field and in the wind and in the rain. Yeah, I'm sorry, that's not football.
No excuse.
Elements. If you can't play in bad weather,
it's one of a few things that some of the fan base have used it as their victim card. It was because of the weather. It was Trey Lance's first game. But this is the NFL. It stands for not for long. Here's what I don't get with the situation. Okay, you put Trey Lance in that situation, okay? Yes, Jimmy G is the backup, okay? But he's going to be the backup, okay? Trey Lance should be concentrating on what he is actually doing on the field and studying how to read defenses, how to make the plays, rather than worry what's going on behind you with the backup quarterback. Because if you're worried about Jimmy G, you've lost the mental battle already.
Right. One quick thing. I'm going to go around the table. Your Trey Lance, Jimmy G, the porn star banger, is sat behind you. Are you more concerned of what people are going to think, or do you just go out there and say fuck it and sling it and hope for the best? Carl?
People just need to take a chill pill. People need to take a chill pill with Trey Lance. Let him have, as I said, 7, 8, 9 games. Get him accustomed to the actual NFL. You're now the main starter doing all this. I won't judge him until we reach halfway through the season and see where you are from there. The 49ers are a Super Bowl caliber winning team. They are 100%.
Some of those throws he made, seriously, a couple of those throws he made, I'm like, fucking hell. Forget even worrying about what I thought. He did. He made a couple of awesome throws.
He did. I mean, me and John.
Obviously, the game plan really changed, and it annoyed me because we were, and again, forget the weather for a minute. We were promised this explosive offense. We can go deep, and then Danny Gray's in street clothes. Hello, he's our deep threat. And if you can sling the ball, whether it's wet, dry, whatever, you put your speed guy on that field. They used Debo like they used him last year with Jimmy, and everyone and Jimmy got criticised because Debo fucking bailed him out. Well, you can't have it both ways, right?
You can't tie him with the same brush.
Debo tied.
Our fan base will.
Well,
and it was like
we've seen it all week.
Yeah.
We've seen it all week.
Yeah,
it's been a nightmare.
Honestly,
I mean,
as I said, I'm going to go to the halfway of the season before
week 8, week 9, something on those lines.
Before if things are bad, and don't forget, as I said earlier, apparently within the locker room, there are certain players that have already checked out Trey Lance. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but I think that's bullshit based on one game. Which is
there was a couple of incidences where I did see the actual offensive line not exactly pick up, not exactly help Trey Lance, if you get what I mean. So there was a few of the offensive linemen.
That can be. You can read, Laney, good morning. But you can read too much into that because I've seen Aaron Rodgers not get picked up. I've seen Mahomes not get picked up. You can name any QB or running back or offensive lineman. I mean, I bet Trent Williams doesn't get picked up if he gets knocked on his ass, which doesn't happen very often. Same with Bosa, the same, whoever, So I never read too much into the, he didn't get picked up. I don't, unless it's completely like everyone has just walked away and you can't see him in the camera shot, maybe, I don't know. But I've never bought too much into that. But yeah, the Bears.
Here's the Trey Lance thing to me too, though, is like, you said that the 49ers are supposedly going to have this explosive offense. Other than Deebo Samuel, who do they have that's some explosive playmaker?
Yeah, but he's not.
Nobody. Brandon Ayuk and Juwan Jennings and these guys, they're just average receivers. They're nothing special.
Scott.
George Kittle's hurt again.
George Brittle, forget it. And we all know he's still better than Kelsey on one leg. But anyway, they drafted Danny Gray, speed, over the top, blah, blah, blah.
He hasn't proven himself as somebody that can get open or be a a huge maker.
I know it's pre-season, and the guy that was covering him and the safety that should have been covering are in Costco or working with you at McDonald's. I understand that, but that was that big playability that they're looking for, right? That they haven't had since, I don't know, I want to say Marquise Goodwin, but unfortunately he was a speedster, but he couldn't get separation. But he
was an all or nothing though. He was one of those guys that he would have
but
one or two catches every few games.
and Debo are not deep threats, and neither's Jennings. They're route runners that run good routes, but get separation, and that's short intermediate. They're never going to go. They're not Tyreek.
To your point about there's Jimmy G guys already checked out on the team. I guarantee you that's the case. I guarantee it. If you've ever played sports, you don't play with a guy who commanded the locker room and the respect of his teammates and accomplished the things that Jimmy G accomplished and playing in Super Bowls and NFC championship games, and then some other guy comes in and just gets the starting job. I didn't watch much of training camp or their practices, so I don't know if Trey Lance looks better than Jimmy G, but it was predetermined before the offseason even started that Trey Lance, everybody knew he was going to be the guy, because you don't give up what the 49ers gave up to have a guy sit on the bench for 2 years. I guarantee there are guys on that team that thought that was bullshit and that wasn't right to Jimmy, and Jimmy's the better quarterback. And one bad game is all those guys need to say, oh, well, we brought this guy in and he was handed the starting job over this other guy that's won all these games and gone to battle with us the last 3, 4 seasons, 5 seasons. I guarantee you there are.
One quick question and one quick comment to you, Scott, and then I'm going to pass it to Nick before we get into week 2. The Chiefs didn't say that when Mahomes took over from Alex Smith, did they?
Well, no, they got rid of Alex.
No, I know it's chalk and cheese, but in theory, the hype of Trey Lance is he's Mahomes and Josh Allen Mark II, right? That's the hype that I've heard all through.
That's fan hype, though. That's not
right. But okay, fan whatever, right? What was it like? And I love Alex Smith. You know I do. I mean, he was a Niner, good man. I need to find my 11 jersey because the catch 3, fucking amazing. I cried. I woke the whole fucking street up, running around like a complete twat. What was it like when? And bearing in mind, had they seen a lot of Mahomes before he took the job? Because didn't Smith get injured and Mahomes stepped in, or did they just say, see you later?
No. So Mahomes sat on the bench for a year and learned under Alex Smith. Alex Smith was really good about mentoring him and taking him under his wing for that season and teaching him about being a pro and really, didn't shun him like you see a lot of these other quarterbacks do. But the Chiefs, they had nothing to play for in the last. So Alex Smith's last season as a starter, they had the division, they had their playoff seed wrapped up going into the final regular season game. So Patrick played that game and looked good and won the game. But there was a lot of reports that Mahomes, even that first season when Alex was still the starter, was just lighting up in the practices in that first training camp, was making plays and making throws and passes that all of the beat reporters and even guys on the team were like, damn, this fucking guy looks good, man. Like, he looks good. And you saw that when he hit the ground running his first year. He had 5,000 yards and 50 touchdowns. But they traded Alex Smith because the Chiefs knew you can't keep the other guy around. I mean, you can't break up with your girlfriend and then start dating your new girl, but you're texting your ex-girlfriend on the phone, man. Like, you got to cut the ties. You can't have that person lurking around in the background.
I do understand that, and it's an exception to the rule where you can call Alex Smith and Jimmy game managers. Not great, steady. Get to a certain thing.
Alex Smith was the highest rated passer his last season and as a
just
starter
hang
for
on,
the Chiefs.
hang
I
on,
mean, he was
hang on.
good.
Forget stats.
He had no
If you
defense. Alex
like
Smith had no defense
stat,
with the Chiefs. That was his
QB
problem.
wins aren't a stat, and Jimmy G's a winner. But what I mean is, and you know, I don't take in this QBR and this, that, and the other, because at the end of the day, it's an eye test, it's a smell test. You can see, and I don't know, Trevor Lawrence could have a QBR of 107.5, but still got his ass kicked and they lost. So I don't go by stat. I'm talking about.
Right. Well, to that point, look at the Thursday night game. I mean, you could say stat-wise, Justin Herbert maybe had more passing yards.
Yeah, exactly.
Than Patrick Mahomes, but he tried to be Patrick Mahomes and throw a sidearm pass at the goal line around a defender and missed his target and threw a pick six and lost the game. So
when he should have scrambled, left out of the pocket because there was a gap. But I digress.
The thing is, the thing is with that, there was you can call Alex Smith and Jimmy G game managers to a point, but you've got Mahomes and then you've got Trey behind them. So, and I can't compare Mahomes and I can't compare Trey on college because I didn't watch either of them.
Right.
And we all know that Mahomes dropped in the draft, right? And he was picked up and the Niners took Trey at 3. Alex Smith went to Washington, started, blah, blah, blah. Niners keep Jimmy, and I still don't believe that they kept him because of some bullshit. I still think they kept him for insurance in case it flames and people's jobs are on the line. And that's
but
the
thing,
right?
but the other half of the fan base doesn't want to recognize it. They don't want to even discuss it because it's always been Jimmy G's fault apparently in their eyes.
This is an interesting comment.
What I sometimes don't get. There's a comment further up here. I got to get it up. It was from your brother Scott. Hang on, let me just go grab it up here because this actually. So this spoke a lot of sense.
Burner account. Don't say it's his brother. It's his burner account.
Manning set the record for rookie deceptions. Yeah, Alan Alston looked good his first game. He has an extremely good point there. The difference is, though, if you actually look at Josh Allen's stats from when he first started and Trey Lance's, they are exactly identical. There's one fundamental difference between Josh Allen in his rookie season and obviously Trey Lance starting properly. Was that the 49ers are in a win-now situation. The Buffalo Bills back there were a fucking dumpster fire. Their O-line was crap. They were the worst. They had worst receivers. They're one of the worst lot of receivers in the NFL. They had no running game. Their O-line was crap. Their defense was average at best. They had Rex Ryan as their coach, and they had his brother Rob Ryan as the defensive coordinator. I wouldn't trust Rob Ryan to run a lemonade stand, let alone think of defensive schemes. I wouldn't have done. So there's your difference there. There was no clambering for Josh Allen for the fan base to clamber for Josh Allen because he was going to beat the job to Nathan Peterman. That's who he was up against. That was just a formality. That was always going to happen. So you can't use that context in its own. Trey Lance is in a situation now where we are a Super Bowl winning team. It's up to you now to take us over to that next level. And if you don't, you might now be regretting that.
The bigger pressure is on Trey, obviously, because of what's been built up. And I've never understood the build-up. The average bow, before I come to you, Nick, oh dear. To the coaches, there was no question who to go with when it was Mahomes versus Smith. And I don't doubt that for 1 minute because it's night and day, chalk and cheese. Whatever you want to say, you've got Alex Smith throwing nice intermediates, never launching it 50, 60 yards, not even. I mean, Mahomes, it wouldn't surprise me if we see one where they do a flea flicker and he turns his back on the defense and just fucks it off over his shoulders or something. It wouldn't surprise me. You know,
you've just given Eric
He was-
the enemy another idea.
there you
now.
go.
Thanks,
Eric.
well done. Eric the enemy. There you go.
Eric, if you're watching, when you do that, just hold up a Shank Club NFL sticker, because that would be awesome. Where it's like a mortar or bazooka, where they go.
Patrick's
And
been
it
doing
goes-
behind the back passes in training camp, so get ready.
That's mad. But, you know, again, all of the coaches, and obviously this is the average bar. I wish it was Bo Selector. No one in the US knows Bo Selector is, but the UK people know who Bo Selector is. Shamon motherfucker. Sorry.
Oh, fucking
They
hell.
all have no clue who they should be going with. Now, I'm not sure that's actually true. I think certain people know and others need to know. And, yeah, I need to step away. Nick, Trey Lance, Jimmy G, etc., etc. The final word is yours, but can you give it about 5 minutes? Because I need to nip downstairs, get some beer, blah, blah, blah. And Carl doesn't like talking too much about the 49ers, so we need to stretch it out just a little bit longer.
Oh, mate, it's the biggest comedy act I've seen since
And look,
Enthusiasm.
And do you know something else? I've just noticed Carl is not a vampire because he's actually sat in the fucking sunlight. Look at that.
Skin's
Oh,
like
yeah,
the
eyes
end
a
of
little bit.
You ain't got no blinds on that window, man?
No, not yet. Will do. I will have to because it's killing the screen. So never mind.
Like it, man.
Nah.
Go on, Nick. Floor's yours.
Listen, I mean, we've been building up to this argument for near enough 18 months now. Scott's right. We should have got rid of Jimmy. Should have gone. It gets rid of all the problems. I love Jimmy. All right. Are you touching yourself?
Yeah, God.
No, one mention of Jimmy and he's off. But I love Jimmy. I would sooner us not have traded up to get Lance and kept Jimmy and just carried on. But we've made the move. It can't be taken back. We've now just got to go and see what Trey Lance is. He needs, and I don't think having Jimmy there in the background isn't going to be a good thing. You know, they look on camera, they look like they're being consummate teammates. They've both been nothing but complimentary towards each other. But this is the NFL. They're trained to do that. They're not going to come up with their real feelings on camera because it might piss the wrong person off. You know, I wouldn't have had Jimmy there. I don't think it's fair on Lance to have that in the background. Plus, the way the fan base has been, we were always going to go absolutely mental over this. We're fast becoming one of the most toxic fan bases in the NFL. It's been ridiculous, really. They're full on attacking each other, and it's been quite vile, some of the things that are being said between 49ers fans. Lance needs time. The problem is, like we've all said, this is a Super Bowl caliber team. He doesn't have time. He has to be good, and he has to be good now. You know, Carl made a really good point about the stats with Josh Allen being similar. I hadn't thought about it as the wider context. It puts a nice little caveat on it. It's like, okay, yeah, they are similar, but he has a better team, so therefore it should be better. It should be that much more. I know you brought up about the offensive line not picking him up. The one that did concern me, there was a video of Mike McGlinchey looked straight at Lance and then charged off the field. That one did concern me a little bit. It's kind of like, oh, so you're going to look at him on the deck and you're just going to leave him there? You didn't have a great year last year. You're coming back off an injury. Your job is on the line at right tackle. Then you want to be a team player? You know, that one did concern me a little bit. The not having Danny Gray out there, I think that probably hurt Lance. one of Lance's biggest weapons is his long pass, the deep ball.
Mm.
And they took that away from him by not having Danny Gray out. And the Chicago defense knew they could come down on it because they knew it wasn't going to go long. They knew what the plan was at that point.
I mean, you're going up against a secondary that's okay, not great. I mean, it wasn't exactly like, you're going up against the Bills secondary or even put the Chiefs secondary. They played decently on Thursday night, or even the 49ers. Okay, he's been practicing against the 49ers defense. That's probably why he's been getting so many interceptions in training camp, because the secondary is just picking him off all the time. So it wasn't exactly like I think he could have utilized the deep ball a little bit more. The one argument I had with our fellow comrade John Vernos on here was on the locker room rant on in the early hours of Wednesday morning, was the fact he blamed who was your tight end that you Croft? That was it, Tyler Croft.
Yeah.
The deep ball thrown to Tyler Croft. Apparently that was Croft's fault for not being able to retrieve it. I argue that was overthrown.
Trey Lance said he overthrew him.
Yeah, if Trey Lance said it, then he overthrew him. So, but that will just rile up the Trey Lance, the Trey Lance initiators. So, they'll say no. He said, everyone said, so George Kittle would have caught that. He said probably, maybe, but you don't know in that situation.
And to get Ivan's point on this, Ivan, this would have been like if they would have traded for Deshaun Watson and kept Baker Mayfield, right? I mean, you can't do that.
I mean, the point I would have made earlier is that Baker was gone anyway, because the front office didn't want Baker. They had sold out Baker probably before the previous season.
But they wanted to move on, right? So you can't want to move on from somebody and then keep
they would have definitely. Baker was gone. I mean, they would have taken anything for Baker. There's no way they would have kept Baker, but there's no way Baker would have wanted to stay. So, he was gone. And some of the locker, from what you hear, some of the locker room didn't want Baker either. So he'd lost the locker room as well, or part of it. Garrett never liked him, and he was a big influence. Nick Chubb did, but, there's some who didn't like him, and some. And the concern with Trey Lance is if there are people in the locker room that have already decided they don't like him, that is an issue for the 49ers, a big issue. I mean, I've watched all the games from last week, and that was one of the worst games to watch. It was really, really bad game. And how the 49ers managed to lose it, I mean, it seemed to be all down to the Bears secondary, picking off some of the throws and getting there. But it wasn't a good game at all to watch. Trey Lance is definitely a concern, but then it's early days.
Trust me, I lived through that, and it was awful. From a whole game thing where, and we all go into games thinking, yeah, we're going to piss this, we're going to do this, and we do that, and we end up with bloody noses, and we ended up with a big bloody nose, and it really pissed me off because I was so right. This is going to be, new era, new this, new that, and the so-called top three defense was fucking shocking. Penalties, 99 yards.
I'll say this, okay? The defense was actually playing decently. It was actually playing very good. You're a top three defense. You are. Unfortunately, hang on. Unfortunately, you were bottom three in penalties.
Yeah, but it was the secondary. From what I could see, the secondary just went asleep on a few, passes.
You know what the best thing was about this season? I got some new glasses, right? And look, I can
still can't fucking see out of them.
Stretch them. I can.
Damn.
Because those were going against the wall. I tell you, it was a shit show.
Real quick, the penalties thing. That's just week to week what the referees want to do. You look at the Chiefs the first week at Arizona. I think they had 2 penalties, and then they somehow go home in a primetime game and get called doubled up the amount of penalties as the Chargers did, and are getting called
the Chiefs by the ref. You've only got to look in the Super Bowl when they're holding Bosa.
Right, exactly.
Right, Nick, back me up on this, right?
It was chokehold.
It just depends on when they feel like calling them and who they feel like calling them against it.
In
NFL
fact,
officiating is a fucking joke. It's
Mr.
terrible.
Mug should change his name to Mr. Chokehold. That's a very good point, Nick. Right. It's that time. Cole, have you got last week's results in front of you? Of were there any yes, I can't. He's not.
You
prepared.
could no.
Fuck. Why do I get this guy on here? Terrible.
I'm pretty sure I lone wolf the Eagles.
You never said to me. You never said to me to look out on the results.
Yeah,
you didn't say that to me
last week. That's terrible.
I wasn't even writing them down last week. So you did.
Nick, can you make it every week? This guy is
Right. All right. Right. Give me 2 minutes and I'll grab my book. Fuck me sideways.
terrible. So you had one job, as we say.
It's fucking impossible to find good help these days. You know what I'm saying?
And by the way, that noise I made when Nick was saying they should have got rid of G was me falling down the fucking stairs listening to that. That wasn't me getting all excited. I fell the fuck down the stairs, and that's not good for a man. Look at my hair, Jesus. For a man,
don't you got a hat or something?
I had a hat on because I haven't been well, and pre-show. I've got a new microphone there that doesn't fucking work for some reason. And I had my headphones on like that, but they couldn't work together. See, so that would have covered my shit hairdo because I could have gone, oh, that's just headphone hair. But, and then I tried my AirPods and they sounded shit. So I've binned them. So I'm just, organically doing shit. Carl, do you have the results from last week?
No, I don't. I've just got my book. I don't have the results from last week. So
honestly,
right. So what I'll do, we'll start with the results this week, and then when we finish, I'll look back through last week's videos and see who picked what, and then I'll mark it all down. So Nick and Ivan, they're going to be behind. So,
well, guests should be an entity, right? As in. Should they or not? Oh, I don't fucking know. Right, we're going to leave the Niners to the sea. Oh, and talk Niners sea chickens. Fucking hell, I already feel ill. I hate this game. Hate this game. Passion. But I'm not going. We're going to do that last because I need to calm my stomach down. Especially as I fell down the stairs when Nick said they should get rid of Jimmy G. Right. Dolphins or Ravens. First game up. Ivan. Choose.
That's got to hurt Ivan.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one, and the reason it's a tough one is because the Ravens didn't have a good run game last week. You know, they were held to about 65 yards. So, and it was only Lamar making a few good throws, which he's capable of, but not always consistent with. That really made them a better team than the Jets, you know. So and the Dolphins are quite good. So who's at home? Ravens at home, I take it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to
Do you
go
want
Ravens.
the spread or anything? Do you want the betting odds? Hang on.
Yeah, go on then.
Let me find it.
Gamble responsibly.
Listen.
My gut instinct is to go Ravens. What's the betting zone?
I think something like -3.5. I think it is.
I don't know because for some reason it's gone on NCAA. For fuck's sake.
Fuck's sake.
I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be quite a close game. But I think I'll Ravens. Baltimore's at home. I'll go Ravens.
Well, I was going to say they're going to be at least +3, aren't they? Okay, Nick.
I'm going to take Miami. Actually, I think they're going to carry on. Yeah, it'll be in spite of Tua, not because of Tua.
Get that.
So you're going Miami.
Warmed up.
You know what? I think there could be this could be a new lone wolf in the flat. Carl.
Ravens.
Now there's two left to vote. Mr. Smug.
The Ravens all day in this game. That's easy pick.
Now, this is quite difficult because Nick's a fellow 49er fan. He's in it. But they're building a Greg's drive-through. But Ravens. Over to you, young Nick.
Let's get it going.
We need to get Freddie on very soon, and we need to clip his lone wolf because it's the most pathetic one. That was quite close, but that was a good one. Right.
Where is Freddie?
He's at Plymouth Argyle.
Wow.
Kills the stream.
Oh dear! As soon as you heard the word Plymouth Argyle, that was it. Game over. That's it. The stream's like, no, don't want that shit. Let's get him out. If you watch, though, he is watching Plymouth Argyle and Portsmouth. I believe he's at Fratton Park today, so he's actually an hour's drive away from where I am.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, right, okay, right. Well, since Nick's internet has decided to prolapse on itself. Let's I will go in the next game then. So Cleveland Browns at the New Jersey Jets.
No, it's in Cleveland.
Oh, is it in Cleveland? Sorry.
Yeah, it's in Cleveland.
Yeah, sorry, I've got this on fucking British way. That's why. Sorry. So yeah, Jets at the Browns. Ivan, we'll go to you last because obviously we know what you're going to go for. Nick, what's yours? Browns.
Yeah.
You've got to be fucking kidding me.
As you just said, Plymouth Argyle, the streaming service. Don't want to hear that shit.
Argyle versus Portsmouth is young.
You just wanted to sit next to me, Nick. Here, let me put my arm
I did. I just needed to so I can go like that, and I actually did it the right way. Look at that.
Good job.
Right. Sorry. Did I miss any picks?
No, we've just started on the Browns Jets game. So Nick, you've chosen. You went the Browns. Scott
is what's his face? Zach Wilson still out?
He's out. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Browns will just run the ball all over the Jets. That's good. Yeah. I picked the Browns.
Okay. Nick?
Robert Saleh, ex-defensive coordinator of the 49ers.
Going to get fired in 8 weeks.
Gonna lay another fucking egg. Factory of sadness all day long.
Thing is, of course I'm going to go Browns, but I don't forget it could be because they stopped the Ravens running the ball, the Jets. This could be a much closer game than people think. If they stop the Browns running game and force Brissett to try and throw over the top, who missed probably 3 potential touchdowns the last game, it could be a lot closer. I still think the Browns are the better team. They've got a better roster, but I think it could be quite a bit of a slugfest. So it could be quite a low-scoring game. Browns will win at home, 2-0. Move on to the Thursday night squealers. So it's going to be a good one. Yeah, Browns.
Full house. I'm taking the Browns in this game. I think your defense is going to absolutely suffocate Joe Flacco in this game. So
Flacco threw about 59 passes or something.
Something and you got Michael Carter and Breece Hall as your running backs. Fucking use them. Use them.
Now, this could be a tasty, sneaky game to watch if you got 3 screens. Next game up. The Washington Command. What a shit fucking name. The Washington Commanders. Fucking hell. Versus or at Detroit Lions. Now, anyone who's watched last week know that the Lions are my second team, equal second team this season. I'm going to go for a Lions win. They were unlucky last week. I saw a few of the players playing well that were in Hard Knocks. So, yeah, I'm going Lions. Ivan?
Well, Jacksonville should have beaten Washington. There's no doubt about it. Jacksonville left by half time, should have had 10 points, which they missed a touchdown, and then they missed a kick, quite a short kick. It should have they only lost by about 1 point. So Washington weren't very good at all. I don't think Wentz is a very good quarterback.
It's shocking.
The figures
two
of Wentz.
interceptions on the trot, Wentz, and both of them were just bad throws. So yeah, I'm going to go Lions.
Carl?
Yeah, I'm not taking the Washington. Yeah, so I'm going to take the Lions on this one. Yeah, the Lions will get their win. They should get the win.
Yeah, I'll take the Lions.
Scott?
Lions looked pretty good against a pretty good Eagles team last week, actually. So, Washington's not good. Their defense is not what it was 2 years ago either. So, yeah, give me the Lions.
Colts, Jaguars. Nick?
Colts. Easy pick.
Ivan?
I'm not convinced by I mean, Colts they drew with the Texans. Texans are not a good team. I know the Colts are good on paper. Who's at home? Colts.
Jags.
Jaguars.
And the Jaguars aren't as bad. The Jaguars lost to the Commanders, which makes you think they're potentially not great, but they were a better team than Washington. So the Jaguars are at home.
Yes.
I think it's going to be much closer. I think it's going to be another one. What's the betting saying?
I don't know, because my betting app is all fucked up. But I would again normally get +3 on the home team to start. Let me have a look. Let me see if that comes up. Hang on. Let's have a look. Oh, for fuck's sake. American football. No, that's not showing on here for some reason. Bizarrely. Oh, hang on.
So are you going for Ivan?
I'll just wait and see what the bet is.
At -3.5.
Right, I mean, I'll go Colts then.
Nick?
Pick Colts.
Has anyone else picked the Jaguars yet?
It's still between me and Scott.
I haven't picked yet.
Okay.
All right, Scott. I'm hedging my bets here.
Yeah,
Scott.
I'm picking the Jaguars. Colts did not look impressive. I don't know what Matt Ryan has left. They drew against the Texans. They're nothing special. The Jaguars got playmakers. I'm going Jags.
Carl.
Stat nerd here has looked something up. The last time the Colts beat the Jags in Jacksonville was 2014. They haven't beaten them since. Something that it's like the Patriots when they go down to Miami. We can't fucking win because of the heat. Same thing as the Colts. They go down to Jacksonville and they lay an absolute egg all the time. So I'm going to take the Jags.
I'm taking the Jags purely because they've got a fucking swimming pool where you can watch the game from. That's it.
Yeah, that's wrong.
That's all I've got.
And Carl has gone from the Predator to he looks like Jesus or something in some of those paintings, like the
sun's
beam of
literally
light
now baking my
his
face.
head, like-
The sun is literally baking that side of my face.
I mean,
As I said, I'm surprised he
waiting
hasn't
for
dived
Carl.
under the table because I thought he was. I'm white, and I thought I was white and didn't like sunlight, but that's Dracula, motherfucker, right
I'm
there.
fucking
Look,
trying
is that-
something.
I'm waiting for Carl to like. I'm just waiting for Carl to like ascend out of the window into the light.
Yeah, exactly.
Shine
You know,
down.
someone comes with a steak and he's at it. Bucks versus Saints. Let's go, Nick. Bucks Saints.
I'm gonna go Bucks.
Okay, Paul. See you there in the chat. Thanks for coming and making a comment. Apparently, he also likes your new setup. The acoustics weren't great on the Lone Wolf, Paul. If you didn't hear it, by the way, you know.
Right, so who had Bucks Saints? Who was the first one?
In Scott's realm, but then Scott's gaff was built especially for the Shank Club Lone Wolves. He didn't build it that way for any other reason because he knew that he had to make sure that he had high ceilings to do Lone Wolves. Sorry, who did you go for, Nick? I got way late.
Bucks.
Bucks. Ivan.
Yeah, it's got to be Bucks for me as well. I mean, the Saints I thought Saints got lucky with Atlanta because the Atlanta defense just went playing zone and let the Saints throw some mid to long balls, which but they had the game by the scruff of the neck. Saints didn't look as good as the win, so I'm going Bucks. Bucks destroyed whoever they were playing.
There you go, another choking fit. That's the Falcons lost against the fucking Saints last week.
Thing is, and I'm hoping this is the case, week one throws up some freak results, right? Like the 49ers last week, it was a freak result. Blah, blah, blah. I'm going to go Saints.
That's
Scott.
brave.
Saints have had the Bucks number since Tom Brady got there, especially. Their defense is better than people think, and they've got some playmakers. Is it? That game's in Tampa?
No.
It's in the dome. It's in the dome.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to take the Saints as well.
Carl.
Yeah, Scott pretty much stole my thunder what I was going to say there, so I'm just going to keep it short and sweet and say the Saints.
Cool. Panthers Giants or Panthers at Giants.
This is such a shit game, but such a shit one to actually predict right.
It's probably the shit bowl of the week, I think. Somehow the Giants are 1-0, and we all know the Panthers lost to Cleveland last week. Fuck it, Panthers. Scott.
Yeah, this is a tough game. It's like a coin flip. Both teams got really excellent running backs, and then not much after that. Man, I'm gonna roll Giants.
It's a coin flip, right? It is a coin flip.
Yeah, I'll roll G-Man. I'll go Giants.
G-Man. Ivan.
I'm going to go Baker, man. Baker's got to win this one. Going to have an outstanding game. No interceptions, no fumbles.
Look, he's saying that with a big smile on his fucking face. And look at him. He's like a Cheshire cat.
None of that stuff. None of that. He's going to be brilliant. Baker at his best. Panthers to win by 20.
Oh my god!
Damn.
What are you drinking?
I need some.
Or have you know?
I wish I was.
Nick.
I'm gonna go with the Giants purely because they're at home. No other reason.
Carl.
That means I got to break the tie then. I'm going to take the Panthers on the premises that they have the better QB than the Giants have. That's my only assumption. Both running backs are going to absolutely torment each other's defenses. And also, if we're actually looking at it, Panthers' wide receiving core actually, I think, is better than the Giants. With the likes of DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson.
Giants were dreadful in that game. I don't know how they managed to win it. I mean, they sort of came back at the end, didn't they? But they were dreadful.
As I said,
75% of it.
That's scary to me when I looked at the results, because obviously watching the Niners game and then throwing shit everywhere after the Chicago game, and I looked at the scores on Monday and I'm like, fucking hell, the Giants won? Are you sure?
Yeah.
It's one of those, isn't it? Because you get used to certain teams losing. Now, Carl. Last week, you went against your team. And you were correct.
I was.
Now, this week, you've got Patriots. And I can't call them the rapists anymore, which is really disappointing. Versus the Squealers. There you go, Ivan, just for you, the Squealers. Carl,
Will,
a.k.a. Dracula, choose. Put you on the hot seat, mate.
Come on, we have to get a win.
Now, that's almost as transparent as you, for fuck's sake.
Let's say what?
It's not dark enough for it to actually light up properly, you twat. But yes, I'm taking my team.
That's
no TJ Watt. I think that TJ Watt out is going to help us massively. But this offensive line of ours, it can't be any worse than what it was last week. Belichick would have run us into the ground this week for the offensive line. So, and Kendrick Bourne apparently is going to get more of a role in this game than what he had against the Dolphins. If he does, we've got a chance of putting the ball down the field a lot more. So
now, Nick, I don't know if this comment is you or me. I'm not sure, but either way, glasses are getting some.
I'll take it.
Apart from old whatever his name is down there from Full Metal Jacket, and I still need to know what that geezer's name is. I might have to have a look. So you're going with your team. That's very noble of you this week. And can I say that helmet is as shit as your Aldi snack one you had last year and you put up earlier.
What, you mean this one?
You fanboy. Scott.
2 years ago. Shut up.
Scott, Pats, Squealers, choose.
Yeah, it hurts every fiber in my body to pick Pittsburgh, but Steelers gonna win that game.
Ivan, now I'm pretty sure I know where this vote's going, and bearing in mind Dracula could have a lone wolf situation coming up.
Yeah, the thing is though, Nick, the Steelers have got no offense at all. They're an absolute pile of crap. There's no way it's that how that team managed to beat the Bengals for two reasons. One, their defense all over had one of those one-off games where everything worked. But even then, the Bengals should have won it right at the death. All they had to do is convert a touchdown, and they would have won that game. So the Steelers' offense is rubbish, and they're going to go to New England, and they're missing what? Their defense won't play as good. Patriots are going to win that one.
He actually said that with a straight face. Everyone, did you see that?
You're a West Ham fan as well, aren't you,
Yeah.
Ivan? Yeah. They're my second team. So you and me have got Thank you.
Can I just say, a couple of weeks ago, West Ham 0, Brighton 2. So,
I know. Brighton are our bogey team, I tell you. We never beat them.
they're not good against Brighton, I have to say. Nick.
I went back and forth. I think I'm going to land on the Patriots to win. Purely because they actually have an offense.
Do you know what? That's really
They
spot.
do?
I really couldn't give a rat's arse who wins this.
Who's this Patriots offense you're talking about?
It's still more existent than the Steelers,
Steelers,
offense.
I mean, they got
at least we managed to score.
Harris.
At least we managed to score a touchdown on offense. You know, it may be just a one, but at least we scored a touchdown.
He's gonna have a bad day. I'm actually picking the Patriots defense. I don't know why. I'm siding with you, Dracula. I love that. You've now change your name to Dracula from now.
No, because I'll get blinds up in the next week, and then
me,
you won't
if
be
you're
able to
going
do that.
with that lighting setup, don't put the thing down. And we want the Undertaker's music when I introduce you next week. Just to spice it up a bit.
Have you got a black tape?
No, I've not got the cape or the hat for that. Okay, I just
Your mission this week, should you choose to accept it, is to buy a black cape.
Yeah, there you go. And an upset, and then you just appear like you did with your green screen.
Well, that means I'm going to need to
through the green screen. Hello, motherfuckers.
That means I'm going to have to purchase a fucking smoke bloody machine, whatever it is they call it.
There you go. Look, we've given him these ideas for his entrances, right? So he should take those up. Dracula, make sure it happens. Right, Falcons at the Rams. Now,
hey!
Lone Wolf, off you go. Scott.
Who Lone Wolf?
Scott Lone Wolf.
Oh, did he?
Scott went Steelers.
Clear your throat.
Yes, I'm Lone Wolf and a team that beat the AFC champions last year over a team that just lost to the fucking Dolphins.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's what $250,000 buys you. Perfect Wolf acoustics. The rest of the house, right, is just a shell. But he built this one room that would give those acoustics.
Yep.
That's it. Falcons versus the Rams. Now, I wonder who I'm going to choose. Very difficult. Falcons. Rams. Falcons. Scott.
The Rams looked bad. Well, I'd say that. They were tied at halftime with the Bills. They didn't look that terrible. Falcons, you cannot pick the Falcons to win. You just can't do it. I mean, I want to pick them, but I just can't do it. I'm picking them.
I want everyone on the screen to be aware of this, okay? The next time the Falcons are up by 15 or more points very late in the quarter, I urge you to stick a tenner on what the odds are on the opposing team to win. I fucking guarantee you, because they will lose it. They will blow it. Yeah, and you'll be rich. You will be rich.
Get back in your coffee.
They're bad.
Ivan.
Yeah, Rams.
I mean, you've got to go Rams, haven't you? I mean, I like elements of the Falcons team, but Mariota is their quarterback, isn't he? For the Falcons. Yeah, I mean, he's just a loose cannon. You got to go Rams. I mean, they weren't that bad against the Bills. It's just the Bills were just a better all-round team. So Rams.
Just warming my voice up because I think I know where this is going.
Right, I just need to do something very quickly. I can't look at myself in the face while I do this. Lambs.
Right. Where's that button? Where is it? Carl?
Nick. Do the honors.
Fuck the Rams. And I hope that blew your fucking headphones up. Dracula.
That was a good one, Nick. That was a good
That
one.
wasn't bad, was it?
That was pretty good.
That's the best part of me done for the day now. That's it.
Wasn't as
Right.
good as Freddie, but
Well, exactly. Right. Now, I forgot about this because I do love this next game only purely because it's fucking hilarious. Bungles versus the Cowboys. Now, the Cowboys, the Cowgirls, America's team. Oh dear, your star QB is fucked.
yeah.
He'll be out for 6 weeks, maybe. Oh, fucking brilliant. Who's their QB, Carl? Can you just tell?
Cooper Rush.
Who?
Cooper Rush.
Rush. That they sang Spirit of the Radio, right? Great rock group from Canada. That's the only fucking Rush I know.
Ian Rush.
Bengals. Yeah. Welsh. Well done, Nick. Bengals by 50 points. Over under, and this is an extra special one, and it's at the fucking Jones Mahal, which is even better, right? Bengals to piss it. Over 10 views of Jerry or his fucking his boys looking like they've eaten a lemon over 10 times. Bengals by a fucking country mile. Scott.
Bengals. And of course, the week that I picked the Cowboys to go to the Super Bowl on the show last week, Dak Prescott gets hurt the very next game. They struggled to score points even when Dak was in the game, though. Bengals. Although Joe Burrow had 5 turnovers last week, so I don't see that happening.
Can I just say, your brother gets it. Proper lone wolf. And that was me, not you, not anyone else, me. Thank you. I can't speak and I can hardly breathe, but it was worth it. Ivan.
Yeah, I mean, as Scott said, even with Prescott in last week, they were still pretty awful. I think when he went out, they still only had 3 points. But Bengals, I mean, they've got to start playing. They if they're going to, that's a wasted loss really for the Bengals. That's going to affect them in the division. But I think they'll come back and they'll beat the Cowboys convincingly.
I mean, I was really surprised by that because obviously it was the same time as the Niners game, and I was really surprised they didn't get going till quite late last week, the Bengals, and it was obviously too late because.
Well, they could have won it. They should have won it at the end.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that ending was madness. I've never, and that Bengals kicker who kicked it, I almost leapt out of my bedroom window and caught the ball. It was that far fucking wide. It was ridiculous. Is
that in the overtime?
Yeah.
I mean, their long snapper was injured at that point, so
it was a crazy, weird. Good game to watch the highlights on, but you're like, oh, this team's going to win. Oh, shit, no, they're not. Oh, fuck, no.
That game was on all the drugs last week.
Mad. It was mad. Nick, who you got?
Bengals all the way. Down the dirty Dallas.
Carl?
Fuck the Cowboys. Taking Bengals.
Don't let your son grow up to be a cowboy. Fuck the Cowboys. Texans Broncos. Now, Russie Wussy did a little bit of cooking last week, but he was still shit. The fucking sea chickens. Come on, really? Stacked roster on the Broncos. Great defense. So much promise. But I loved it. I loved it, but I hated it. I pushed the game last week because I couldn't pick. Fucking Texans. Fuck Russell Wilson. Fuck you three. Fuck you. I hate you. Even though you're a Bronco, you're still a fucking Seahawk. Fuck you. Scott, I've said my piece. Scott.
Yeah, it made me sick that I picked the Broncos last week instead of picking Seahawks, and then they fucking Seahawks won. Russ didn't look that good. Russ did not look that good. So, but I just can't pick the Texans. They tied the Colts, but that team sucks, man. They're not good. I've picked the Broncos again. I don't like it, but
I'm disappointed in you. No, you shouldn't be picking them. You got to go. You got to go with this. Sometimes you got to.
I mean, I want to win though. So,
mate, you know this is a piss take selection, so you just pick.
Real quick. Why in the hell did they try to kick a 60-plus yard field goal? How does their coach think they had a better chance of kicking a 64-yard field goal than getting 4 yards?
No pun intended, but Nathaniel Hackett is a hack.
I mean, you cannot. I was watching the game, and they weren't calling timeout, and I'm like, what are they doing? And then I see the field goal kicker come out. I'm like, see, that's going to be over a 60-yarder because of where they're
Brandon McManus in his entire career is 1 from 8 from 60 yards or more.
I know. And then they said, well, he kicks 60 yards all the time in practice. And I'm like, well, that's in Mile High. That's not at sea level in Seattle, dipshit. Like, I mean, I love that.
I know no one else will get this reference. Cole probably won't. Ivan might. But you said Brandon McManus. I'd rather have Mick McManus kicking that field goal. Ivan might get it because he's of a certain vintage, but he's an ex-wrestler in Britain who was a big fat fucker. But anyway, Cole, give some love to your boy in the chat.
Munsey, good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. He's someone I do on the NFL shows on a Wednesday evening, do an NFL recap show and that.
Talking about doing other NFL shows, Cole, where was my shout out when you were on the locker room? Oh, don't worry, I saw the first bit and I thought, motherfucker didn't give me a mention.
I'm going to be very, very polite when I say this, okay? There are a lot of people that were watching that stream that don't like you, hence the fact why I didn't pick up the channel.
Really? Oh, what a fucking shock. Oh,
I came on representing my channel. I didn't come representing the Shan Club because if I did, oh my god, I would have got abuse thrown at me.
Can I just say, anyone that's watching this stream now that doesn't like me, that watches the locker room and anywhere else Carl goes, it doesn't like me. Fuck you.
Yeah. Fucking snowflakes, man. That's all those people
I don't give a fuck. Fuck them. Ivan.
You got to go donkeys for this one for sure. Texans are just a pile of shit.
Broncos.
Oh, fuck me.
Keep it clear.
Carl.
Missed the shit game to call. The only thing I've got is Javonte Williams in my fantasy team, so I need him to really do well. So I'm going to go with Denver. So take it away, Nick. After you've had your sip of beer.
I was going to say,
This is 2 now. This is major. I'm going to need fucking coronary surgery after this. That was more like a coyote than a fucking lone wolf. Another divisional game. Now, this is another one, a tough one for 49er fans. I hate fucking both of them. So I'm pushing this game from the offset. Cardinals, Raiders. Nick, choose.
Draw. Draw.
Good man. Ivan,
Cardinals, Raiders. Oh, that is a tough one. Who's at home?
Raiders.
the Faders
Hmm.
in the fake black hole that is full of gamblers that are pissed. And they give them jerseys they walk in to make it look like they've got some fucking fans.
I'm going to go Raiders.
Raiders. Okay. Scott?
You played the card. You played the Cardinals. You know how shit they are, but you don't like the Raiders. So
It could be.
in the words of Steve Harvey, take the X.
There could be a lot of pushing on this one.
Nah, I'll pick Cardinals bounce back, man. I'm not picking the Raiders. That ain't happening.
Carl?
I'm picking Raiders.
So, is there any? I know me and obviously Nick have pushed. Was there any lone wolves, or was it?
What did Nick Ludlam? What did you pick?
I said draw.
You said tie.
Yeah, I said
And
tie.
You said tie. So by that means this is the first day. It means the two Nicks have gone for a tie, and me and Ivan have gone for the Raiders. So Scott picked the Cardinals. That means
Lone
so
wolf.
2-2 to 1. It means Scott's going to be the lone wolf. That was not hard to work out at all.
So he's now trying to outdo me. So if I now get a lone wolf, it's going to kill me. I'm going to die live on air, and I'm sure a lot of people who hate me would fucking love it. Fuck
Your
that.
views would be way up.
Call
They would be,
911
wouldn't
now.
they? Imagine me going, "Oh, I can't fuck him." Bears at the Packers. Now, the Packers lost last week. Obviously, the Bears won in a monsoon with X-ray vision in their helmets. Can the Packers be 0-2? Did the Bears win their one and only game last season? Carl, choose.
Taking the Packers. The Packers head coach is 6-0 after coming off a week 1 loss. Yeah, well done to the Bears on your win last week, but you're playing a pissed off Aaron Rodgers, and that's probably the worst person to play against.
In Green
So-
Bay.
No,
It's in Lambeau Field.
Aaron.
It is in Lambeau Field. Yeah.
Niners have played a pissed off Aaron Rodgers a few times in the playoffs over recent years. Good luck with that. Scott,
Packers.
Ivan,
Packers.
Nick,
Packers.
fuck it. Do you know what? Bears.
Oh, God's sake.
And do you know why I'm picking the Bears? Because I thought Justin Fields looked good last week. In
Yes.
the rain.
He didn't. He
You guys
did
wanna
not
hear
look
something
good.
funny, real
No, no. Listen, don't break my mojo, Dracula. Just
You guys want to?
look good.
You want to hear something funny, real quick? Last week when I was in Arizona, I was staying at the house that we rented, me and my buddy that I do the Chiefs Kingdom live show with, and his girlfriend. And I guess she never watched Shank Club. He watches, and it started at like 6:30 in the morning or something.
In the morning, yeah, exactly.
And so they got up a little bit later, and his girlfriend, my friend Ash, she was like, were you out like howling like a wolf earlier? It's like, what in the fuck? I had to explain to her what was going on. She was like, I heard someone like howling.
Scott,
I was like,
it's
Scott? Like,
too early. Too much coffee. What the fuck?
she's like, I woke up, it was like 7:15 in the morning, and you were like howling like a wolf.
You know what? Next year, I might expand it where I buy a shitload of lone wolf hats and send them round. So
God.
Because that, I love that. To me, when they do that on game day morning is the funniest. I love a lone wolf hat. So I might find somewhere that does fake lone wolf hats and just send them round. Because I can. Right. Where did we get up to? Has everyone picked the last game or not? I'm confused.
There's
Two more to go.
We got two more, then you got the Niners game.
Yeah, no, I know, but we've all picked the pack. Oh, yeah, because I lone wolf, didn't I? Right. Anyone picking the Tytoons over the Bills?
No.
Nope.
No.
Okay. This is quite an interesting game before we get to the main event of the evening, ladies and gentlemen. Two pretenders that are, as usual, highly rated, but who knows? Vikings versus the Eagles. Interesting little matchup here. Ivan, choose.
I take it Eagles are at home, are they?
They are, yeah.
They are.
Yeah, I mean it'll be a good game, I think, but I'm going to go Eagles.
Okay, Nick.
I'm going to take the Vikings. I think they carry on.
Scott.
That's going to be a good game. But Eagles defense struggled against the Lions, so I'm going to pick the Vikings.
Carl.
I am taking the Vikings. I think, this team, you don't sleep on the Vikings this season. I think they're just going to be good this year. Really, really good. So, I'm taking the Vikings.
Carl, who have the Vikings got at QB? And bearing in mind, you know what I call him.
Yes, Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, and what is his official name?
He's the Chocotron 5000, right?
There it is. Vikings going down to the Eagles because the Chocotron 5000 will choke like he always does.
Ah, shit! I've just made an error.
Oh dear! Why? What have you done now?
No, because I picked the Vikings to win. Something just crept into my mind. It's Monday Night Football, isn't it?
Yes.
Kirk Cousins doesn't have a very good record when it's Monday night games.
Kirk Cousins
does not.
But he doesn't have that moron coach in
playoffs, let alone Monday night.
Moron coach anymore.
He's the Chocotron 5000.
I'll stick with it.
So, am I the only one to pick the Eagles?
No,
I haven't picked the Eagles.
I haven't picked the Eagles.
That's good. Right. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the main event of the evening. In the blue corner, coming out looking like a bunch of fucking highlighter pens with some fucking wanker that only chews gum on the sideline, the Seattle Seahawks versus 0-1 San Francisco 49ers. Ivan, choose.
And 49ers are at home, are they?
Yes. Being diplomatic, being very diplomatic to the host and to you, Nick. Being very diplomatic. He's thinking about it.
Well, I am thinking about because the Seahawks played a lot better than I thought they were going to. I was actually surprised that they beat Denver, and and their quarterback played a pretty good game. So normally I'd naturally just pick the 49ers of this one, but then having watched the 49ers Bears, I was shocked at how bad the 49ers offense was. But I don't think the 49ers are going to have a second shocker at home against one of their hated rivals. So I'm going to go home team again. I'll go 49ers.
Scott.
Uh-oh. I could just see the look in his
Don't
eyes
you do it.
already.
Don't you do it.
No. I'm stepping
Don't
away.
you
I'm stepping away from the
fucking
screen.
dare.
Away from the screen.
Don't you fucking dare.
Yeah.
Don't you dare.
Seahawks look a lot better than the 49ers, Nick.
The cross of Dracula is against you. Don't you dare.
Go on, Scott. Go on.
I'm picking Seahawks, man. I'm sorry.
No!
49ers did not look good, man.
Fuck you.
They didn't.
Fuck you.
They didn't
Stop.
look good.
Stop.
Oh.
I'm
Scott, can I just say we're good friends? We've known each other 3 years.
Yeah,
Yeah? 3
something
years?
like that.
Fuck you.
Would you like
Go.
some different? Oh, fuck's sake. Yeah, I'm picking the Niners to win this. I think the spread's something like, -9, -9.5 on the spread. That's a lot considering Trey Lance didn't exactly have a good game last week. So 49ers win. They do not cover the spread, though. I think this is going to be closer than what a lot of people give it for. Also, as well, not to send it back on a rewind mission, but the 49ers did get swept by the Seahawks last year. And that was when you had two competent QBs either side. Now you got a QB which is very young, and you got a QB which is apparently he's good after one game. No, I don't know.
That was Jimmy G, and Jimmy G stinks.
It was Jimmy G. It was Jimmy G and Russell Wilson, and now it's Trey Lance and Geno Smith. Oh man, how we come to this?
Yeah, that's a QB fest. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
QB
So I'm taking 49ers, but I would not take the spread on this one. Absolutely not.
Nick, surprise me. There you go.
That's all it is. Niners all the way. We're back. It'll be 1-1. We are going to shit all over the sea bitches.
Now, you know, Nick, every time I pick against the 49ers, they win. So I saw Paul down in the comments there. He was upset with me.
I don't care. Still. Now, I hate Seahawks games. Hate it. Because every time I get very nervous, I can't eat, I can't do anything. Now, tomorrow, we are going to see the new QB of the 49ers score 5 touchdowns on that Sea Chickens defense. He's going to throw for 4. And he's going to rush for 1. The Niners defense are going to sack Geno 6 times. Hot takes. I love it. It's my show. I can say what the fuck I like. And Pete Carroll choking on his gum over 5 times. Niners all day. Did used to like Scott. I did really used to like Scott. But he's any other week, doesn't matter.
You just lost to the Bears, man.
Any other week, it doesn't matter.
No Jamal Adams either.
But, I mean, yeah, well, there you go. But when you pick my team against those fucking Seahawks, I need to go to therapy, my man, because I can't compute this. I need to just take it in, and then when next week comes, I can just fucking laugh my head off at you for picking them.
I mean, yeah,
Anyway, obviously, I know you're still riled up from your Arizona trip, and you know the air was probably lighter, and you're still a bit lightheaded and shit. And you're not thinking straight. So I'll give you that stuff. But anyway, let's go with our closing thoughts. Carl, let everyone know where they can find you, where you don't mention me because people fucking hate me, and all that jazz.
Yeah. So you'll find me on Twitter at KB Sports. My YouTube. What the fuck is that? Have you got a storm brewing in there or something, Scott?
As soon as I picked the Seahawks, man, like all kinds of lightning started.
Yeah, there you go. You see,
It knows. It
God
knows.
is answering you. He's answering you.
Brilliant.
See, you can't do
that. That last one was close. I mean, that was shaking the floor.
That was almost a proper lone wolf. Carl, sorry,
Yeah.
go ahead.
That's all right.
Where can
You'll
people
find me.
hate and all the rest of that jazz?
Okay, you can find me on Twitter at KB Sports. You can also find me on YouTube. That's the same channel, which I run through the New England Patriots, run through Arsenal Football Club, and I'll also do a little bit of a recap show regarding of UFC as well. You could also see me on multiple different shows. Obviously, you see me on the Shank Club. You see me on Monday Talks. And one last thing as well. Big up to Tony, to Nico, and to our boy John Vernos as well, who allowed me to come onto the locker room rant in the early hours of Wednesday morning. 2 o'clock in the morning, I was on there for 4 and a bit hours. Sorry, 2 and a bit hours, beg your pardon. And just had an absolute amazing time. Absolutely amazing time. So big up to you lot there. And as far as my page is concerned, this O-line better be fucking ready. They better be ready to go because we need a win desperately. It's not must win, but my God, this is probably our winnable game we've got now for the next 3 weeks. So we need a win. Go Patriots.
In case you didn't hear that. Scott, thanks for joining. Let everyone know where they can find you, where they can hate me because you don't mention me, and all that jazz.
Yeah, you can find me right there. Chiefs Kingdom Live. Chiefs are 2-0. All the shit talking about this is going to be the year the Chiefs lose the division and look out for the Chargers and the Broncos got Russell Wilson and the Raiders are coming for us and blah, blah, blah. First place, Patrick Mahomes leading the league in touchdown passes, took care of business again at home. They're 2-0 and they're looking like they get to play the Colts next week, and they're looking good. So yeah, good start to the season for me. It was a blast going out to Arizona. Kudos to Chiefs Kingdom for showing up and representing and taking over that stadium out there. It was a lot of fun. Good to see you guys again, especially Ivan and Nick down there. Missed you guys last week. Hadn't seen you all. Hope you all are doing good. And I get to relax this weekend because my team already won, so it'll be a good weekend of football.
Just very quickly, do you mention this group on your podcast? Do you mention the Shank Club?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
You fucking hater. You don't. You're such a liar.
Yes, I do. Go back and watch, man.
I'm only... Okay, whoa. I'm only... Scott, calm down. There's no one at your window.
No, I do.
Calm down. Ivan, let everyone know where your blog is and your Twitter handle and your final thoughts.
It's all the Dog Pound East. It's that's the Twitter handle you can see on the screen there, and the blog site you can get from my Twitter account as well. So yeah, we're doing it, and I'll be looking forward. But if I'm back on the show next week, we'll be able to talk about the Browns' forthcoming win over the Steelers as well. So that'll be good. It's going to happen. It's going to be a good season, this one. It's going to be lots of good AFC teams there. It's going to be a great season. So looking forward to it.
Hang on a minute. I've just got to bring this up very quickly. He's upset about not being mentioned, but he obviously doesn't watch. I have seen a couple of episodes when I've been really like, I can't sleep and I just need something to help me sleep. And then I watch your show and fuck me, within 2 minutes I'm asleep. You know I'm only joking, my homie. And Scott, I promise you. I haven't, but I should. But unfortunately, when you've got a good team like yours and trying to be a good team, you can only watch so much without thinking, fuck me, I wish we were them. And that's the truth. Nick, let everyone know where they can find you and your final thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if you want to find me, it's nludlam84 on Twitter. Final thoughts? Just urge a bit of patience when it comes to Trey. Young lad, needs a bit of time. Let's see what he can do.
Excellent. My final thoughts. Carl is definitely Dracula moving forward. Unless he buys a fucking blind or something.
I'll get blinds, don't worry.
Nick, that's a good setup behind you. I can't believe people watch the Locker Room Rant and hate me. I can't believe people hate me at all. Such a lovable person. Yeah, exactly. I got 99 problems and haters ain't one. Niners wipe the floor with those fucking sea chickens. Cowboys lose. Rams lose. Cardinals lose. McDonald's number 11 shirt wins forever. See you all next week. Thank you everyone for tuning in. I've really enjoyed it. Thanks to the panel. We all take the piss out of each other, but you know it's all love. If you don't know it's all love, then you obviously need to go back and watch a few more shows so you can really fucking hate me. This has been Jimmy G Smile from the Shank Club NFL. Thank you everyone for watching. We will see you again very soon. Stay safe, everyone. We'll see you soon. Take care. Who fucking hates me on the fucking Locker Room Rant?